How does such a candidate, who does not believe in your own ideology, who does not believe in your own principles, end up being your member of parliament? How? How did that person get the ticket? They don't believe in you. Why couldn't they have gotten the ticket from the other party if they believe in them?
I love the president, all right? So get that. I love the president. I love the way he does things.
Kenyans now need to consider completely weakening the office of the president because it's of no use. What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not for going. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
A very good day to you and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. This is Philip Kisia Unscripted, coming to you right here from Nairobi, where we're watching us from. We're always grateful that you watch us every single day, taking time to look at these conversations which we say we do hope, we genuinely hope will help our leaders in making good policy and political decisions. Our conversation for today is about the state of the legislature. There's a lot of conversation about the finance bill, agriculture, CS, mythical in tourism, impeachment, allegations of bribery to the select committee. There's also the conversation about what the president holds on them. We're going to talk about that with Philip Kisia, leadership and governance expert, ex-Nairobi town clerk. How are you doing, sir?
Jed, I'm good.
It's a fine Friday.
Looking forward to this day.
Yeah.
If I wasn't coming here, I would have started my Friday early.
This government doesn't like people like you. Starting Friday early, where are you going? Enda kwa nyumba, Kisia.
What else? Yeah? What else do you expect?
We are putting
in a depressed economy, in a depressed country. We are depressed, so the only thing you can do is to run around.
One for the road.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those who pay taxes above the belt.
What are your highlights for this week? What have you noticed this week, even as we talk about Parliament?
Jed, three things I've noticed this week. But let me start on a positive. Okay? I came across a story where Senator, my very good friend, Senator Hassan Omar, the former senator for Mombasa County, and of course, now he's at Ayala. He made a promise to a family that had lost a politician. I think it was an MCA, or he ran for office and he did, but whatever it is, the man lost, but then again, he died. And when this man was being buried, Senator Hassan made a promise to build a house. I was really, really encouraged by the steps and action that were taken by Senator Hassan to build a 10-bedroom house for that family. I think that is what leadership is all about. Emotional intelligence, empathizing with people, keeping your promise. Okay? Saying and doing. There must be a correlation between what comes from your mouth and what ends up being done. So I think that was very encouraging to see what Omar had done for that family. Of course, may God continue blessing him in many ways. And I think Hassan is a good man. We could be in different parties, but he's a good man. Okay. And he remains my friend. The other thing that was extremely disturbing, and we had predicted, that 11-man select committee of parliament, where 4 walked out because they could see the results. They could see what the other 7 majority were doing in terms of writing a report in favor of, or to clean Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi. They took him through a laundromat, they cleaned him, and they declared him as white as a peeled potato. Yet, we all know there was fake fertilizer. We saw it. Poor farmers, hustlers, the very low end used their money, hard-earned money, not looted money, hard-earned money to buy soil, pebbles, and donkey manure. And the man was cleaned. But what was more disturbing, and what is still disturbing to me, is the fact that Honorable William Samoei Ruto, who has sworn to fight corruption, has not even made a pronouncement. He has not spoken on this matter. So, is he serious about fighting corruption?
Why should he speak about the matter? Some would say
No.
it'd be influencing the decision of Parliament.
You see, no. He's the president. He receives intelligence reports. In fact, this matter should never even have gone to Parliament. The question that should have been asked by the president, is there fake fertilizer? Yes or no? Who is the person I've given the high responsibility to run the Ministry of Agriculture? That person should have stepped aside at the very least, as investigations go. You saw what Kibaki did with Miraria. The best of friends, buddies for many years, from, I think, Makerere University. But say, you know what? You have been mentioned adversely in a report. Step aside until you are cleared. That is what a serious leader does, taking action. The other thing that which was a slap on the people's faces, Kenyan faces, which now confirmed that this government is not about to fight corruption. In fact, it's corrupt. In fact, there is no hope in this government in terms of fighting corruption. When I read a letter through news, and I read a letter from the Anti-Corruption Commission sending a report, an advance report on one Dr. Mugambi, saying that he has been charged for economic crimes relating to procurement under Section 45, subsection 2, and Section, I think, 48. They said, this man has been charged. He is already in court. Okay? Therefore, we will not recommend him for any appointment. But what happens? Because the Kenya Kwanza government believes that corruption is a badge of honor. Okay?
Yeah.
They believe in corruption. In fact, if you are not corrupt, if you are not a looter, you have no chance serving this government. So it's a badge of honor. You can see all those people appointed have questionable characters in terms of integrity. Some of them have been accused of murder. So anyway, it is it actually now confirmed that there's a lot of impunity in this government, a lot of impunity, arrogance, contempt, and they have no shame. They have no shame when it comes to matters corruption. In fact, they abate corruption. In fact, the president abates corruption. So it was very disheartening. And but anyway, I don't know whether Kenyans expected anything because President William Ruto has never had a history of fighting corruption. So I don't know when he would have started fighting corruption.
I've never asked you, what do you think about this whole innocent till proven guilty? This is the conversation they always bring about when you hear allegations of corruption. This was the case when they were getting nominated to become cabinet ministers. What do you think about it?
You know, Jed, it's about being ethical. And chapter 6 of leadership, the threshold is not very high. It talks about when, even if your behavior in private, leave alone just private, in public, how you behave in public is subject to public scrutiny. How you even behave privately, forget that publicly, privately, is also
Subject
to public scrutiny. Okay? So it was not a matter of, on this one, it's not about a matter of evidence. When there's perception that you're corrupt, when you have been charged in a court of law, you've already been charged in a court of law. It means that the agencies Ruto is saying is supporting, DCI, Anti-Corruption Commission, it means that those agencies have done their job. It means that DPP, who is again appointed by the president, has done his job. And he has recommended that this person is liable. So it is not about a matter about being proven. The question is morality. Why can't you wait until you are cleared from that mess? Then you can go back, because the president has powers to appoint. If he put there Philip Kisia, because he just put him, he knows this guy can do a job and is efficient, but he's not my guy. When you find that your guy has been cleared, sack Philip Kisia and bring your guy. What's the problem?
Let's get into today's conversation. This has been part of your highlights about the select committee. You look at what is happening in Parliament. The story there is crazy. Everyone thinking, is the president influencing? Is the president influencing the outcome of these cases? But before we even talk about that, there's this video of Esther Passaris. Let me just ambush you with that one, because she's part of people in Parliament showing not just administration, but love for president. And this is a member of Parliament whom we expect to be on the side of the people, but now shows her love for the president.
I also admire Ruto. I admire the president. So get with it. I don't give a crap about what you think. Just because I'm in Baba's party doesn't mean I have to hate Ruto. I can't. I don't hate anyone. It's not in my psyche. It's not in my being. I love the president. All right? So get that. I love the president. I love the way he does things.
We're talking about Parliament. This is one of our parliamentarians, Kisia. This video is trending all over social media. What do you think of it?
You know, you really ambushed me on this one, Yed. You know, first of all, Pasari is somebody I know, and I hold in high esteem. But having listened to that video that you just played, you know, love is a very strong word. So I don't know whether it's a matter of semantics, because no, English is not our first language. I would have expected her to say, I like. But when you say you love somebody, love is very intimate. So it is up to her to explain herself. I cannot explain what she meant by saying she loves President William Ruto. I can love my children dearly. I can love my mother. I can love my father. I love my wife. You know, I love my wife. But I can only like other people. I cannot love them. I can like them. So please look for her. She's your member of Parliament, and ask her, what exactly did you mean by love? But anyway, that's not important. It is what she said. She doesn't care. You can take, I don't know, a scrap, whatever it was. You know, she said she doesn't hate anybody, which is very good. It's positive. You should not hate anybody, whether they are enemies. It's even the Bible. You know, but I think when you are elected, let's take America, for example. You are elected as a Democrat. You uphold the ideologies and the principles of the Democrats. You can see how the Republicans behave. There is no single day that the Republicans have moved or crossed over to embrace the ideologies and principles of the Democrats. How come in Africa, how come especially in Kenya, people operate without ideology? Okay? People have no principles. People have no philosophy. Why is it happening? I think I go back to blame the political leadership. Because how does such a candidate, who does not believe in your own ideology, who does not believe in your own principles, end up being your member of Parliament? How? How did that person get the ticket? They don't believe in you. Why couldn't they have gotten the ticket from the other party if they believe in them? We are not saying that as a nation, as a people, we should hate each other. What we are saying, we are competitors. And competition is healthy. That you are promoting a certain ideology, we are promoting a certain ideology, we have a different way of working, you have a different way of working. The only time that we come together, the only time where national interests are involved, that's where you need unity. And maybe, I don't want to use love because I say it's too intimate, but that's where you must come together and unify the country. Because national interests are for example, during the flooding,
Yeah.
we as a nation were expected to come together because it's affecting us. It's affecting Kenyans. But when you start talking of love, I get lost. And I want it to end there.
Yes, we'll talk a little bit about party loyalty versus the responsibility of members of parliament. But we want to talk about first this whole case of Linturi. You look at the committee that decided that Linturi is clean, 7 out of the 4. You look at this impeachment case, how it sailed through, how it went through, and you look at the conversation about whether standing orders allow someone to vote or not. First of all, you look at how Linturi was cleaned. What does this mean about the effectiveness of parliament? Should we look at how parliament operates? Because committee doesn't seem to be following what parliament was for when they agreed to have this committee formed.
First of all, I even had a problem with a select committee of 11. And why even people allowed the formation of that committee that was tilted towards the government side. It was already tilted. The results were obvious. Okay? Because, as I said earlier, since the president has not spoken on this matter, since the president has only given lip service to matters corruption, the matter should have been finished and finalized in parliament when parliamentarians voted. There is no greater committee than parliament. That was like, having a board of directors, okay, meeting and make a resolution. Because the board is final. Make a resolution. And then you go and sit somewhere with your girlfriend and make decisions on behalf of a board. Who has more powers? Is it parliament or a select committee? In my view, those 147 members of parliament did a fantastic job. They should not have fallen into the trap that was laid by the Speaker of the National Assembly by getting or forming a select committee. They should have opposed the formation of.
But is it really the
Speaker
or is it the standing orders?
Listen, forget about standing orders. Which one is superior to the other? Parliament has already pronounced itself on a matter. Pronounced itself, said no. There's a case here. Okay? And if even we were to go the select committee way, how come it was already heavy tilted on one side?
Yeah.
The results were obvious. The results were obvious. There was even no need to waste public funds having that committee. They should just have said, okay, what do you want us to approve? We want us to clean Honorable Franklin Methika Linturi. We want to clean him. We want to turn him, he's now black. We want to paint him white. We want him to come out as white as a peeled potato. So there was no point wasting time with that select committee. Because the outcome was already predetermined. We knew what the results were going to come. And worse still, you know what happened? They shamelessly even tried to bribe the other 4. Shamelessly. And I thank the 4 members of parliament, led by my very good friend on our side, who was pushing this matter very strongly, because he knows the effect of having fake fertilizer. He comes from Trans Nzoia, and we are farmers there. So, and that's why he pushed very heavily, and he has the heart of the people. 4 of them said, we shall not take silver and sacrifice our people. These other 7 sacrificed Kenyans. They sacrificed the poor farmer. They abetted corruption. And they cleaned this man.
What do you think about this standing order?
It was immoral. These are some of the things that must be reviewed. In this a standing order, but they must be reviewed and say, once Parliament has overwhelmingly passed a matter, these are not stupid people. These are people representing millions of Kenyans. Okay? Once they have passed an issue like this one, I think it should end there. We should now start finding avenues of cleaning somebody through some select committee that is already tilted on one side. Okay? Did you expect anything better from that select committee? Did you? No, Jay, tell me, did you?
Talk to me.
Were you expecting anything better?
Talk to me then about the factors that contribute to this perceived influence of President William Ruto's hand. Because Mandera Senator Bilo Kero said that it's the executive behind this passage. How does this influence the integrity of Parliament as we look at factors that contribute to this?
You see, I think, Jed, you're talking about integrity. Does this Parliament have any integrity? Does it? When a weighty matter like this one, affecting the hustler, affecting poor farmers, can pass under their feet, yeah? And the select committee comes back with the report and says this is a very good report, is there integrity there? I think your question is misplaced. This is a parliament that lacks integrity in total. And President William's hand is definitely in this matter. Because, and we talked about this before, President gets intelligence reports on a daily basis. You want to tell me that this matter had not been brought to his attention and told him, boss, this minister of yours is in charge of agriculture. Yeah? And the state corporation that handles this matter falls under chapter 345 of the Constitution of Kenya. And we have every reason to believe that either willingly or unwillingly or through incompetence, he allowed this to happen. And if it happened, this is going to affect the image of your country. I suspect that is what the NIS wrote in the report, that this will affect, because Mwananchi is making noise. Mwananchi is bleeding. Mr. President, we recommend that you take action. Then you sleep on that report, you pretend that nothing is happening. The only thing that you come back to us is saying that farmers must be compensated. Why are farmers being compensated? Why are they being compensated? Who sold us that fake fertilizer worth 2 billion shillings? Who sold us that fertilizer? That should be the question the president should be answering. That is the question the president should be asking. Who sold that fertilizer? Who oversaw that in any corruption? Instead, he want to kill the story like he has killed many other stories on edible oil by just allowing the thing to slip and ordering farmers to be compensated. Be compensated from which money, from which budget? And who is being held accountable for the money that we've lost?
Why do you think he would let these things slide as president? Why?
He has left many. I mean, we have many examples. I can show you edible oil, as a Kemsa. Now we have this other scandal, capitation, where schools don't exist, and they are consuming money, and even they have boards. I mean, listen, Jed. It's about, once bitten. We have experience, and the experiences that we've had are not good. They're bad experiences. So we can't trust him.
What will be done, though? When you look at these allegations of bribery, some say 5 million, some say 3 million towards this committee. And these are members of parliament accusing fellow members of parliament who was against themselves. What should be done? Because nothing has been done to make them substantiate their claims.
You see, a member of parliament is a man of honor. That's why he's called honorable. You're not called honorable because you're better than me. You're called honorable because you are held in high esteem. And therefore, there is no way, when you're given 5 million, if it was money that is not attached to anything, you'll take it. But when it is attached to something that, take this and close your eyes, that's a bribe. It's not a gift, it's a bribe. And I have every reason to believe that there was every attempt to bribe the other 4. But those who are brave enough to say, you know what? We are not going to sacrifice our poor farmers. We are not going to sacrifice the hustler because of silver, be it 3 or 5 million shillings. They stood firm. They are telling us that their colleagues took money. You are asking me what should happen. By now, Jed, if our institutions were really working, Jed, the Anti-Corruption Commission, my friend, the CEO, what do you call him?
Twalim.
should have summoned those 7. What is he waiting for? We've not seen any summons. We've not heard him speak about this matter. And yet, members of parliament are saying there was bribery that took place.
Yes.
Why hasn't he summoned the 7? We've not heard. Is he telling us that those are cases of low impact? Those are cases of very high impact. You can imagine the destruction they have caused in the agricultural sector. Yeah, you can imagine what they have done to food security. You can imagine, because people have no fertilizer, people spend money, so we are most likely our yields are going to be affected because as fertilizer was not applied. I know the worship warriors have said that they're praying, and one day that our soils will not even need fertilizer. But we've not come to that point. We are still waiting for them to pray, and hopefully we don't need to spend too much money in future buying fertilizer. In fact, I'm looking forward to that day. So on that score, I support these prayer warriors, hoping that in another 1 or 2 years we'll see some results.
So your message is to Twalib Mbarak, EACC. They should look for these members of parliament to talk to them about this bribery.
Not look for what? Summon them. That's their job, not look.
Talk to me.
When again, it is another love affair. It's another love matter or what?
We've just watched Basaris. But then her video also relates to my next question about political affiliation when it comes to playing your role as a legislator, as a member of parliament. Because one thing, you have to push for the agenda of your political side, say Kenya Kwanza when it comes to finance bill. But then you look at this finance bill, you also have to represent the people that voted for you. How do you balance this when it comes to party loyalty versus your role as a member of parliament?
You see, there are 2 issues here. Any party normally on a weighty matter takes a position. Any party, be it in America, be it wherever it is, a party will take a position. And once a party has taken their decision, whether you like it or not, and the majority have said, this is the route we are taking, you have no choice but to go by what the party has decided. Okay? Because it is through that party that you are in the house. You are not there because most of these people are not there because they're popular. I can tell you, remove the party and these people have no votes. So the votes they carry, most of them, 95% of the votes are with the party or with the tribe in this matter. Okay? So when you are going there, just remember that you are not there because you're better than the others. You are going there because you've been given an opportunity to serve. And therefore, you must always toe the line. When the party has made a decision, when the party has decided which route to take. Now, especially when these are matters that are affecting the people. Okay? Like in this Finance Act, talking about heavily taxing consumption, overtaxing people, when there's no evidence that people have money in their pockets to be taxed. And you are saying, and yet you are in the opposing party, you are saying that you shall support that motion. I think this is nothing less than political fraud. It's fraud. There's no other name you can give it. It's political fraud and prostitution. And that is what we must call it. Yes,
then
because if you are going there to represent your own stomach, right? Because probably you've sensed defeat in the forthcoming election. And you want to be lovey-dovey by the other side, hoping that they get back to power. You may be surprised that you'll be thrown out of power. The party you're supporting, which is in power, will be also thrown out. You'll have no face. You'll have nowhere to go to. Maybe you'll just remain with your lovers.
Then finally, Kisia wants to know what measures can be put into place, because we're looking at transparency, we're looking at accountability, we're looking at working for the best interest of the public, and we don't want to be influenced by the executive as members of parliament. What measures should be put in place so that we ensure all these all parliamentarians play their role effectively?
One, I think we need a lot of civic education. The masses must be educated so that we end up with quality people in parliament. People who can carry your vision, not their vision, because their vision is normally limited to their stomachs. People who carry a shared vision, so they have an agenda for the people in parliament. So we need a lot of civic education so that going forward, that the people who are elected to parliament have only one responsibility: representation of the people. Because I can tell you, whether you're in Kenya Kwanza or you're in Azimio, there is no voter who sent you to parliament, okay, to push for heavy taxation. There is no citizen who send you go there and inflict pain on me.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody. I can't think of one person who voted you for that purpose. The other thing that we must now do also is to strengthen political parties and to strengthen them in real sense. Because here you have an executive that is muzzling the opposition, muzzling them, buying members of opposition. Some are even saying that it's now beyond liking, it's love. It's not now forget about like, it's about love. Those are the things that we must get rid of, so that the executive's power to muzzle the opposition is completely wiped out. We need to have the political parties, the registrar of political party, being as independent as possible. But right now, that office is an appendage of the executive. They are told what to do, what not to do, who to register, who to register.
Yes.
Okay? So, and finally, we also need to have all institutions being respected as independent institutions. I saw the other day the president saying that they can work together, which is okay. All Kenyans must work together for a common good, for shared prosperity. But remember, they are independent. Whatever decision they make, they must not be rebuked for making that decision, because they are independent. And if you are unhappy with the decision that has made, there are other avenues to express yourself.
Yes.
But don't try and muzzle. So we need to be completely independent. And I think for me, Kenyans now need to consider completely weakening the office of the president. Because it's of no use. We probably need to think along the lines of Switzerland. Okay? Where you have a cabinet, and the president is there on a rotational basis. Maybe these some things that will ensure even that this presidency is not, we don't have a ping pong. We have ping pong right now. We have Central Province, Rift Valley, Central Province, for the last 60 how many years? 62 years. Two communities. Why the other communities not Kenyans? I think time, either we completely devalue that office, or now we consider going through a rotational system, so that we go back to our regions and we say, okay, 1 or 2 years we'll have this region, that, and with a strong cabinet and with strong institutions. Otherwise, we're headed towards a complete, having a country that is completely under state capture. Okay? And when you have somebody with excessive powers, you know what happens? That person becomes a dictator. We are headed towards that direction of having a total dictator. Things that we had forgotten about. Even Moi was not like this.
Well, what a place to wrap up. Thanks for tuning in to that conversation about the state of the legislature. What do you think about our parliamentarians? Are they parliamentarians to fix this country? Will they pass the finance bill? Will they pass things that Kenyans do not want them to pass? Thanks for tuning in to that conversation. But before we wrap up, Philip Kisia, final word for today.
I would want to tell my president and my good friend, I don't love him. And I don't think I'll ever love him. And I think he means well. But if he does not change his ways, We saw fake fertilizer. We saw fake fertilizer. He has not spoken. He has kept quiet. We have talked about fake degrees. He has kept. He said there, he just mentioned the passing, maybe because the people with fake degrees are his cronies and buddies. So he's going to pay lip service to it. No action. And Rigiji said they are here and they are here. Rigiji said there's a list.
Yes.
Has it summoned Rigiji? Then about 15 months ago, he made a very good pronouncement, and I even congratulated him for that. He said, people who have attained 60, people don't go and leave. They don't allow us to grow. Why are they hanging and sticking to office? People must go and leave, proceed on leave. I used to proceed on leave as a CEO of the city. I used to go on leave. And when I came, I said, listen, you must go on leave. I found people with 500 days, 600, 800 days. And I said, no, you must go and leave. You must go and leave. You must go and rest. You must go and take your family. And when you attain the age of retirement, it's okay. You go home. There are other things you can do for the nation. If the government feels that you can add value somewhere, they can record you under special assignment. But the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, made a public pronouncement, actually a policy statement, saying that those who are 60 and above must go home. There are so many of his cronies who are still in government who are over 60, who are holding key positions, executive positions. Why? He has never explained, and he will never explain. They, you know, we talked about edible oil. We spent billions of shillings buying edible oil. This edible oil turned out again to be fake. And then it went quiet, and we have lost billions of shillings. We were told there will be Mama Pima. Mama Pima, this thing doing Mama Pima thing, that is very cheap.
Yeah.
Nothing. Then the worst was G2G with Saudi. That thing was a total flop. So when I say that these are government of looters, and these are fake government, forgive me.
What a place to wrap up. Message to William Ruto: deal with these scandals or Kenyans will come for you. That's from Philip Kisia. And until we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Have a great weekend.
What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house. This is not for going. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.